shooting clays over a dove field as if to imitate a dove hunt. Now here in the Southeast where I grew up, we've always dealt with soil quality issues, typically lower pH. pH is the acidity or alkalinity of the soil. Very, very important to correct that pH and neutralize it at around 6.5 to 7 is ideal target range for ag crops or food plots. Now the reason for that is when you have a low pH, an acidic soil, as in the case with this dove field where we have actually a 4.7 pH, it's extremely low, the nutrients that are in that soil or that we put into the soil with fertilizers will be bound up in that soil. The plant roots cannot extract that due to that acidic soil type. There are different forms of lime that you can use. Pelletized lime, which you can buy at a big box garden type store or your local hardware store, or bulk ag lime, which comes in very large piles. It's a moist sandy texture. You cannot spread this bulk ag lime with a gravity cone spreader. It will cake up in the spreader. It will not come out of the chute. So we're going to be using a specialized spreader today, a belt feed spreader. Now pulling soil samples, as you've seen on a few of our shows where we've extracted soil samples, sent them off to the local soil extension agency or to an online lab and had them analyzed is vitally critical to the success of your food plots, of your habitat, even timber. If you have acidic soils, it can affect the production of any type of a living plant or tree life in a negative or positive way. It takes lime, when applied, a little bit of time to actually raise the pH. Now what we're doing here is we're going to spread this lime. We've applied glyphosate. It's going to burn down these existing fall crop that's out here of wheat and oats. We're going to put the lime out and then we're going to come disc and prep to plant. The reason we're doing lime now before we disc is that disking that lime into the soil and incorporating it into the soil will speed up the process by which it will raise the pH almost by 50%. 1 ton to the acre will typically, not always, but will typically raise the pH roughly 1 point. We're at a 4.7 here on this field. We're going to be putting out 2 tons to the acre so that we're going to raise it up to the high 6. That's where we want to be. It's going to, again, take 3 to 4 months to do that, but by disking it in and putting out 2 tons to the acre, we hope to take this pH into the optimum range between 6 and 7. Bulk ag lime takes a little bit longer to do the job. It is typically not as concentrated as your pelletized dry lime types, but it will stick around a little bit longer. So it's not a one-time fix. In a lot of cases, especially here in the Southeast, we're putting out lime every year, some cases 2 to 3 years. So I have my spreader now hooked to my tractor. So I want to talk to you a little bit about these type spreaders. We've actually borrowed this spreader from the same vendor that we purchased the lime from. And in a lot of cases where lime is frequently used, like here in the Southeast, a lot of these vendors will have these pull type spreaders on hand, and in some cases they may rent that machine. Some cases they may throw it in for you to use for a few days for free if you purchase enough lime, which is the case that we have here with this spreader. It is a belt feed spreader. When I engage this system mechanically and we move forward, this belt is going to slowly turn, and this chain link belt will pull the material out of this gate. Now some of these belt feed pull type spreaders are mechanical, some are hydraulic, like the big lime trucks that you may see, or chicken manure, chicken compost spreading trucks are hydraulically driven. You don't have a lot of control over hydraulically driven machines. Speed determines the rate. What I like about a mechanical spreader like this is the rate of speed at which I go does not change the rate of lime I'm putting out. It only changes the width that I'm casting that lime. So in the case with food plots, even fire break food plots where you've got long, narrow, small areas to spread lime, with a hydraulic truck or a hydraulic spreader, you're going to end up throwing a lot of your lime out into the woods, off of the target area, and possibly waste some money on lime. With this spreader, on a small plot, if I just go slow, it's going to trickle that lime out only the width at which I desire to spread that lime. So in this situation on a big open field, we're going to be moving pretty fast, and we're going to be broadcasting this lime maybe 30, 40 feet each pass. So that's about it for using this pull type belt feed spreader. It's a pretty simple implement, it's simple to use. With food plots, even small farming or pasture management, we're only putting out lime maybe once every year, as I said, at the most, once every 2 to 3 years. So it's a pretty big purchase to purchase one of these machines just for those few applications in that period of time. So again, talk to your local co-op where you buy your lime, see if they have a spreader a pull type spreader like this that you can rent or borrow for the purchase of the lime. So we've set it up, we've calibrated it. Now it's time to load the line.